regardless of the type of property, both the buyer and the seller should experience a phenomenal closing experience.
Right.
Right? I mean, that's what we're all driving towards this entire process called the real estate transaction. The agents, both the buyer and the seller agent, the lender, and us as the title provider and the one kind of coordinating the entire transaction with all the parties. And I know we've built our entire company on this idea that when the buyer and the seller walk out of the closing room, they need to look back and say, did that just happen? Right? I mean, that was just a great orchestration of all this talent and all this energy for the seller to meet the needs that they wanted to, and the buyers now to take over, the house of their dreams, hopefully.
And it's been a long process.
It has.
The lending process, because of all the new regulations, the buyers are getting put through the ringer, asking for every form of documentation, blood samples. I mean, it's crazy what you have to go through to get a loan these days. The sellers, who knows how long the house has been on the market, how long they've been waiting to sell this, what their circumstances are, and all of a sudden it's all coming together at the closing.
Yep. So to unpack some of the components of a great closing experience in ours, and we've done, I don't even know how many, tens of thousands of closings. Great communication, we'll come back to that. Great communication is the number one. Right. How did the parties communicate? Even if there were issues, were those promptly and effectively communicated? Second is just understanding the documents. Did we understand the purchase agreement? Did we clear off those requirements? Buyers, did you really get into the grit of the loan program? And do you understand what you're obligating yourself to once you take on this, this house? The idea that I knew where I was going to close and the closing took place on time and the person that showed up actually seemed to know what they were doing and cared about the fact that I was there as a first-time home buyer or whatever my situation was. And I'm excited to help you through this process.
That's why we started our company. We started our company because we walked out of a horrific closing where the person doing the closing didn't seem to like the fact that we were doing a closing. We were kind of interrupting her day. It was awful. Yep. And our whole focus has been, how do we create that great closing experience? And that's where we started.
And that's the focus. That should be the focus of all the providers in the transaction, is to make sure that everyone is well educated, their minds are at ease, they're working hard and we're working for them, but ultimately that day of closing is more of a celebration and a formality legally where everyone leaves the closing room and business was taken care of.